Today, we're going to talk about defending one of the more off-meta, but also more frustrating offensive alignments in the game. This is when your opponent will come out with 4 receiving options to one side of the quarterback. Now, I don't necessarily care whether or not the 4th receiving option is in the backfield next to the quarterback or lined up near the line of scrimmage as a quads receiver. We're going to utilize the same coverage shell with adjustments to make this happen. So make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, grab out your pen and pad. Let's get after it. Now, no secret here, but we are going to be basing out of a match coverage. In particular, this coverage is going to be the cover 9 defense. This defense is going to employ a cover 2 shell to the quad side of the formation, and I can already sense what some of you are saying. Cover 2 over quads. Cover 2 struggles against trips. Why would we utilize this coverage shell to defend a formation that has 4 receivers to one side of the field? Well, I'm going to explain because we're going to make some hybrid coverage adjustments, which brings me to my next point, that if you guys go over to gridirongameplans.gg, my strategy website, link in the description, you guys will find my match coverage Bible. This is one of very, very many tips that I've put into that game plan. I've also shared several other setups that I like to use throughout the season so far here on the YouTube channel. So you're absolutely in the right spot if you guys aren't willing to go to Gridiron to still learn some stuff about defending these off-meta formations. What we're going to do with this is we are going to create some constraints to our defense to allow the players that are in matching zones to match the correct routes on the field without any confusion by creating redistribution. Now, redistribution is something that I've talked about before. This is basically a strategy that when you have a match coverage, you'll take a look at the play art. This is a little bit overextended, and some of the problems that occur are when you start to deal with shallow crosses, especially when you're running concepts where people are running vertical and then somebody from the outside is breaking underneath. A lot of these crosses can sometimes get open. You see right there that this is handling this pretty well, but depending on who runs the crosser, this is where trouble can hit. So if I were to put Davante Adams, for instance, on this, sometimes he will be bagged. Now, you're seeing right now initially with a stock cover 9, this is doing a phenomenal job, but we're going to create some better options for you here on this play. One of the things that we want to do with this is prevent shallow crosses, especially to that 4th option. That running back underneath could be a real problem. You see right there, he flew wide open. So what we're going to do is, even though we had those first 2 drags where I threw to the 3rd receiver and then the 2nd receiver handled and matched accordingly, this particular route right here, where this 4th option is running a cross, which would be an in route if the running back were in the backfield, or a quick table route, can sometimes screw up who is matching what. You see right here in this example, we end up with this guy guarding the running back, and he's just frankly wide open. So we have to redistribute those rules, and we're just going to make 2 quick adjustments. You see that we have these underneath linebackers. If I hit right, they're standing right next to each other. They're extended to the quad side of the formation because they have to relate to the number 3 and number 4 options. If you don't know what I mean when I say number 3 and number 4, we always count outside to inside with a formation. So from an offensive point of view, we're taking a look at the outside receiver being number 1. That would be Brandon Marshall. Number 2 is Davante Adams. Number 3 is Cooper Kupp. And number 4 would be Gale Sayers. So with this, we're going to eliminate any confusion by the vertical hook by neutralizing the number 3 with our 3 rec hook and the number 4 with our quarter flat. This is going to allow for the cover 2 portion of our match to actually handle the 2 other unmanned receivers, matching only those threats. In other words, you're going to see here that if I put the right bumper on this drag, you will see that no longer will it be the case that the vertical hook that guarded him on the last rep is going to give up that middle receiver. The 2nd receiver is the better way to say. Now, I know the drag was open. We're going to make that better here in a second. Don't worry. But in the last rep, remember how number 7 in white chased the running back and was outflanked badly? Right here, because we've manned him up with somebody else, this redistributes the matching rule to our vertical hook, allowing him to play an inside technique on this crosser. And we'll make some changes here with our user and also kind of take away that throw over the top. This is going to be a trail technique, which is usually what you get associated with a cover 2 man under, and also in this case, a cover 2 match. On the outside here, you have the soft squat. It's going to play a trail technique as well, kind of that down and inside hip. And we got safety help over the top. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments here for this play. Now, what I will traditionally do with this is I will cheat this player to the inside, still manning up number 4. I will still run this guy on number 3, and then I will actually stunt out of this. What this means is that I'm going to create some sort of basically pressure, which allows me to hopefully flush the quarterback out to one side or the other. Now, there are two ways of dealing with drags in the middle of the field that are getting open. You can either try to pick it with your own player on a spy. This will sometimes bump into the drag and allow the guy that's playing man coverage to guard him. But on the flip side, the risk that this does assume is that sometimes he'll actually pick the guy guarding the drag. So this could be a little Jekyll and Hyde as it pertains, defending these. Some games it's going to be really awesome for you. Other games it's going to create issues. You see right there, that's a tough, 2 yards. I could live with that. It allows for the guy to at least kind of be enough in the area where they can't just throw the drag, pass lead it up, and skirt up the sideline. Another thing that you could do with this is put this guy into a purple zone or even a hard flat. It's kind of up to you what you want to do. Sometimes a purple zone is going to allow you to kind of guard that area near the number 40 on the sideline, not really the sideline, but where the number 40 is on the field, where a hard flat is going to take away that short drag area of the field that we initially had. Now, if we do it this way, that shallow cross underneath is going to end up being basically kind of walled off. So you see, I can't really throw into this area of the field. If you guys have a player that has ball skills here, you're going to be able to intercept that pretty well. In all, this is a really good start at neutralizing the drags from any of the three receiving options, okay? So you see right here, when we take a look at this, you're not throwing a check down, and now they're relegated to your traditional trips rules, and we're playing efficient match on this. So if you want to take a chance on the outside to the streak to Brandon Marshall, you've got a safety over the top, capping that. If you want to take a shot down the seam to Cooper Kupp, we have somebody matching that. The post route to Devontae Adams on the left side is basically walled off by the technique of the vertical hook. And then on the right side of the field, check down is pretty well guarded. Now, of course, the backside of this formation does present some issues as well. There are going to be a number of players that are going to try to vertical flood you down the left side and then leak this tight end underneath. This is where I want to talk about the value of a vertical hook here. So once you've done a good job with defending the drag to this player, again, you could kind of use her and maybe even cheat towards the right and switch stick. Let's talk about this tight end. This tight end, if he goes vertical at all, let's say a post route, will be actually matched by your vertical hook. Take a look here at that dropper off the line and how I can't throw to him. And you see right there, again, ball skills, you get an interception on this. So that player on the backside is a huge, huge wild card in this. He can take away the flat to the running back if they're attacking the weak side of the formation shallow. He can actually match the tight end as well. But let's say for whatever reason, they are mixing it up. You don't necessarily know whether the tight end is going to run underneath on a shallow, or you don't know if he's going to run basically vertical and across the field. There's another thing that we can do with this that will help. So again, we're just going to come out, man up 3 and 4, and then it's up to you whether or not you want to play a hard flat on this side. And then what I do is I man up the tight end with this guy. This is going to take away any possibility of a lob streak to the tight end. It's going to take away the post to the inside. You have bracket help in the flat with the hard flat and over the top outside in the outside quarter. And you're in a spot with this. My big thing with this is I tend to basically run the call like this. If your opponent, again, a lot of players are going to do a various amount of different route combos, posts, digs, drags, stuff like this is very, very common. It's a freestyle formation. What you're going to do with this is when the ball snaps, just kind of cheat and then switch stick. And then you see right here that I can return back to the middle of the field. Now, again, it's up to you to mix up your wild card defender. We're always manning up 3 and 4. We're going to man up the tight end. And then we're just going to stunt for pressure and then sometimes spy. Okay. This is a really, really good shell that you can run. Again, this spy is going to sometimes muddy up that drag to number 4. And it also does a good job of late in the play, just becoming a guy dedicated to the quarterback. So you might see something where the ball is snapped. You just cheat to the middle, switch stick outside. And then now you're playing your call like this. And then look at how everybody is matched accordingly on this play. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look top down. Now with this, there is a weakness, right? You have to worry about sometimes number 2 getting vertical over the top and crossing the field. Obviously, we don't have a lot of deep zone help to that side of the field. So we can do a number of different things. What I would actually recommend, and we're getting pretty adjusty here, but again, we're going to man up 3 and 4. We're going to man up somebody on 1. It could be Gonzalez, it could be Fitzpatrick. Whoever isn't manned up on him can be converted into a deep half. Again, you could go ahead and stunt. Let's this time do a right pirate with a spy, this is totally fine as well. And again, when this ball is snapped, no matter who's meshing, who's crossing, I'll work a post into the equation here. Let's do something like this. In this particular instance, ball snapped, I cheat to the inside, switch stick. Look at how this is pretty well defended, okay? Everybody is matched. Everybody is accounted for in this. You're not losing. You're not having anybody screwing up. These redistribution rules are massive for how this plays. Now, of course, with this, you could also cheat by using a show blitz of the linebackers. That is right and right bumper on the D-pad. That will take them from stock alignment to show blitz alignment. And of course, with this, you have the ability to create pressure looks because you now have 5 or 6 in the box to maybe blitz this empty look. A lot of times with empty looks, they're not blocking anybody. So it invites the potential for pressure. The other thing that this does is it just puts your guys in a better spot, especially when you're dealing with drags and things of that nature, to still be able to man them up if they're running crossers, if they're, you know, doing a lot of that type of work. Again, you could do some pretty interesting stuff against like floods coming from the quads to the short side of the field with this shell, and you're not really changing too much. So again, I can just do this. Maybe we go ahead and put a flat on this side. Maybe we stunt a little bit with it, something like this. And the ball snapped. And if you're wrong, you're still in a spot where, I mean, look at this. It's completely shut down. So this is a custom cover 9. I am a huge proponent of cover 9. I think it's the best coverage. People don't run enough. This is an advanced shell that is going to help you guys with quads. I don't care if this is the running back in the backfield or straight up quads with 5 receiver empty. This is a shell that I like. Again, you man up 3, you man up 4, you deal with 1 on the backside, however you want. If it's a nub tight end, it's pretty simple. If it's a solo receiver all the way out wide, even simpler. Just really, really easy to shut this down. So next time you face somebody that just goes to this as a prayer, starts throwing drags and wide open streaks and is flooding your zones, this is your solve. If you guys want more, check out my match coverage game plan on gridirongameplans.gg. I'm going to get up out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.